All right, so in this section, we are going to create a tic-tac-toe game using vibe coding techniques with Cursor and Claude Code. First, I will try to use only Cursor without a software called Taskmaster. And then at the end of this, I will show you what is Taskmaster and how it would make Cursor way more powerful if you use Cursor. So let's go ahead with only Cursor first. So I will go to my folder. I'll call it, I'll create just a random directory called tic-tac-toe. Okay. I'll create one directory for Cursor and one directory for Claude Code, just so that we have two separate projects. All of these commands that I'm executing here, like cd, mkdir, and so on, these are commands that I have explained in my crash course, so I will not double explain it in here, but you can also use literally right click, create new folder, and so on. So let's go to Cursor. I will just open this in Cursor, put it there, and at the same time, I will also open Claude Code. And for this one, I will use VS Code so that we have like two different versions running and building things at the same time. And I'm going to put them together. This is Cursor. This is Claude Code. We have done something very similar a couple of days ago where we build a full-fledged web application. It's on my YouTube channel, and you can check it out. All right, so you can see that there is no file in here and there is no file in there. We'll build something together. So I'm going to put this in edit mode so that it can kind of generate a file here. And I will use vanilla.js. That means like no frameworks like React and so on, just so that we can show something out. And I will use the same command for both of them. So I'm going to also open the terminal in here and start Claude Code like this. Yes, proceed. So right now Claude Code is running here. How do you install Claude Code is very simple. You need to go to Claude Code website, and then you need to execute this command on your terminal. And then you should have a command called Claude. If you type code and then it just executes Claude Code for you. All right, now what we want to do next is we would like to build something in here. And the same prompt that I'm going to put here, I'll also copy paste it in here. So I don't need the terminal on here. I'm just going to close the file system so that we can see most of the code happening in here. I'll open Super Whisper and talk to microphone. Can you please create a tic-tac-toe game? Use JavaScript, CSS, and HTML, and try to be creative with some CSS gradients and animations. Just gonna keep it as simple as possible. And I'm also pasting this here and paste it here. Now they both are generating this content, but what do they do internally is pretty much the same concept. Like they're using a model. This one is Claude 4 Sonnet. The one in here, it's asking me a question. I'll just press yes. the one in here, we have to check which model is it. You can use these slash commands, and then you can say model, and then it will show you the model it is working on and so on. For now, I'm just going to say continue so that it can go on and, oh, it is crunching numbers, so it is working. It manages these tasks internally. That's one of the beauties of Claude Code. And Cursor also introduced a new feature called tasks, which I will come to that in the next lectures. But in here, you can see that it's asking me, yes, do you want me to do this edit? But I have this option. I can say like, yes, don't ask me again. Or maybe I can press Shift Tab. That means like it goes on its own, and then it will keep crunching numbers without interruption. And this will be much faster. If I quickly show you the files in here, it created this index.html file, it created this CSS, and also in here, there is index.html file created. You can see the code here and the CSS. And let's quickly close those files there and stay focused on the code and see how far is the system going. Now, the main idea of vibe coding is to not really worry about code too much. Once the code is done, then you can test it. There is a very clear workflow that I have defined in my crash course, which we will also touch upon in the next videos on how to make sure that we produce code in a way that we do not lose it. So in the next videos, I will explain that workflow. But for now, Claude Code is done. Cursor is still running. So we need to run this HTML file somewhere. I'm going to go back to the terminals where we started. Now I'm in Claude Code. I will start Claude Code tic-tac-toe game first. So this is the tic-tac-toe game from Claude. We're going to wait for Cursor to finish, and then we'll test them side by side. Cursor has this feature of changing models, and so is the case with Claude Code. But Claude Code is a product of Anthropic, and Anthropic is the mother company of Claude. Therefore, there is a high probability that Claude Code is the winner of this race of AI-assisted code generation, because I believe that if the LLM owner builds a product like this, they will be building it much better because they know all the nitty-gritty details. But since Cursor was there before in the market, probably they have more market insights, they have more knowledge and experience. They're also catching up. But what I have discovered with Cursor is the task management is not very good. They just recently, like a couple of weeks ago, released a feature called task management, but there's an external tool or external plugin to Cursor for task management. It's called Taskmaster, which we'll check it in the next video. But from the get-go, you can see that Claude Code was finished already with its task, or with the task that we give it to generate the tic-tac-toe game, but Cursor is still working on it. And we had a similar competition between Cursor and Claude Code for 5 hours, which is available on my YouTube channel. You can watch it if you are interested, but it was an in-person live here, 421 minutes, but we went on a little bit off the recording. And we built a full-fledged web application using both Claude Code and Cursor, having them run exactly in those two setup that we are having right now, Cursor and Claude Code. But unfortunately, in this setup, the production of Cursor was way much better than Claude Code. We'll see it, what is the case here. And perhaps it was just that one example that put it in that direction, because I was not really well prepared for Claude Code in that sense. All right, so this is the two versions. This one that is running on 6131, 6131. This is Cursor. The one that's running on 6944 is the Claude Code. So let's check these two ones. This is this one. Okay, so we're gonna put this one. This is Cursor, and this is Claude Code. And we will do a little bit of comparison, and also I'll do a little bit of code review if that's something that might make it interesting. Okay, now we have these two systems running. From the CSS animation, which is one of the instructions that I have given to both of the AI agent code generators, my personal, it's very hard to decide because both of them are nice, but my personal score goes to Claude Code because it put this course, it put this gradient and animation, which is so much similar to this one. I think it's this Bayes data Bayes thing. There is a small issue with CSS here, so I would not. Anyways, so let's go and check the rest of them. The mouse over also is nice, but there was an animation when I touched that. So I can see there is also animation. Yeah, it's not bad. Like, I wouldn't be able to decide which one. Okay, that is the winner situation. Let's see, how is the winner use case. Okay, the winner use case here with all the confetti animations. In this case, it's a clear winner. Cursor is again a clear winner on this one, because with the same prompt, Cursor produced something more close to my request than Claude Code. Let's go and quickly check the code base. This is not a part of this crash course. We're staying away from the code as much as we can, but I'd like to also compare the code of the two generated codes to see how clean code they have done. So the HTML part, Claude Code has 35 lines of HTML. Cursor has 64. The JavaScript code that is written, it doesn't mean that less number or more number of lines of code is of any difference, but almost similar. But since I already know a little bit of JavaScript, let me see if I can find any anti-pattern or anything that is not nice. I think this vanilla, especially this vanilla JavaScript code, is so, I don't see any problems in this. There might be some like repetitions and so on, but that's looks good to me. I mean, even it went and created like literally the confetti animation by itself without using any libraries, but it's okay because we said like use vanilla JavaScript, so it's not using any of that. So, oh, one thing I just realized from the get-go is that they both use this class-based approach, which is interesting because it's the same model under the hood. And you can see that their code is so much similar. Even the naming conventions are exactly the same, like game active. Then the variable names are pretty much the same, since this is the same LLM and it can be predicted that they're using. So for example, here it is using the function called n8n. Here the function name is called initialize game. So we can argue which one is a better naming convention, but again, at the same time, in my opinion, Cursor was again a winner in this tic-tac-toe game. But for the rest of the course, we're going to use Claude Code, only because in the last masterclass I had 9 days ago for 5 hours, Cursor was the winner, and I believe it was not a fair fight between Cursor and Claude Code, because I'm not personally so much experienced with Claude Code. And this tutorial being a very good reason for gaining experience, I would be using Claude Code. And also, I believe Claude Code is getting much better because of its memory management and task list management. And there are ways that we will learn in the next videos on how to do task management in a way that you preserve that task list, the same way as we can preserve task list using Taskmaster with Cursor, which we'll see anyways in the next video. But throughout the rest of the videos, we'll be using Claude Code. So let's go to the next video and build something small and cool using Cursor and Taskmaster, so that you know what is Taskmaster and what does it do. And then afterwards, we'll go and build the rest of our application with Kanban view and integrate it with the voice AI agent that we have been building so far throughout the course using Claude Code. See you in the next video.